Hi, welcome back. I enjoy working from old paintings, probably done this one 2 years ago, I don't know. It's got water, sky, spring green trees, which we've now got, and a distant blues. Uh, Quite a simple painting, and I'm going to do another version of it. I never tire of doing them. And watching one of my favourite programmes last night, Country File on BBC. No end of wonderful ideas from the superb camera work. Right, okay. There we are. I'll be upside down. No? Right, okay. So Fabriano, £130, ideal, cheap, good for wetting wet. I wouldn't use it for painting dry, but with the amount of water that we put on it, it's very well behaved. So here we are: cadmium yellow, raw sienna, alizarin crimson, night red, ultramarine, burnt umber, Payne's grey, and burnt sienna. It was the basic Ron Manson palette, with the exception of the burnt sienna. He also used lemon yellow, but some time ago I substituted my lemon yellow for this stronger cadmium medium. These are Cotman watercolours, 21mm tube, made by Winsor Newton. They're no better than Dale Rowney or other leading brands. It's just that they come in these lovely 21mm tubes, which are, there's quite a lot of paint in there, and they last for quite a while. They're not as strong as artist quality, and they're nowhere near as expensive, but for our purpose they're more than adequate. So I'll show you my setup here. I'm always trying to modify my equipment for the ideal easel. So what I've done is adapted my box easel, my travelling easel, for water and acrylic or oil. And I've added this. Well, I've always had this table. I cut it out of a piece of furniture, side of a wardrobe, and I had it attached to a table on my radial studio easel, which is now starring in a play, or will be shortly, as a prop. But I've got this one, and this might seem ideal. I've got an office chair that goes up and down, and as long as I can get my knees under it and get closer to the picture or the painting surface, the better. So I think this is probably the best arrangement so far. I can put my paints on it, I can put my brushes on it, I've got my little tablet on it, and plenty of workspace. I can even put some tissue on it, some toilet tissue. Right, okay, so without more ado, let's put in some water, put on some water. You don't want to soak it, you just want the surface to dry in, and then while it's damp, you can do all sorts of things with it before it starts to go cauliflowery. I think I'd like to just drop that down just a little bit. I don't want it too steep. It's about 45 degrees. It's probably still just a little bit too steep, but move my phone, which is charging. Right, bit of sienna, not a lot, just now, because I know where the water's going to go, I can put an approximation of it. I'll just put that down there, and I'm going to put a little bit of blue in. Well, no, I'm not. I'm just going to use blue and light red. And this paint dries a lot lighter than when you put it on, so you've got to allow for that. So nice thick rich paint. So let's get nice. Remember that the light areas are the clouds. Going down here, so we'll put that in there where the water is. I'm going to just put a bit of that sienna across here. Right, okay, so So there we are. We've got a nice bit of light there. It's probably a bit too sienna-ish, but I don't. Well, let's risk carrying it on across here. Right, okay, that'll do. Just reclip the paper. Never scratch it before, you don't need to. As long as you pull it tight, the paper will stay as flat as a flounder. Okay. If you get the water right, you can make it look as if it's raining. The rain's just clearing or just coming down somewhere. Right, I'm going to put in some blue and some alizarin. This is the background. We'll get all the way across there because we're going to go over. These are trees in the distance. They're not reflections. I'm just going to dry them off a bit, I think. Yeah, let's take that across there. Okay, I'll dry that with the hairdryer. So, ready, go. Oh, I've taken some of the, it doesn't matter, I'm going to put some dry brush across there. And that dries a bit more. Right, let's get in some greeny background. A bit of Payne's grey with that. Bit of sienna with that as well. And as you come to the foreground, you can start warming up the colours. It's all more marshy than anything else. The Payne's grey in there. Right, okay, that's we need a bit of texture in this, but I don't want to overdo this. Always a danger that we try to do too much. So a bit of shadow in there. And these spring greens. And we'll have some more over here. But don't repeat yourself. With one side dominant and the other not so dominant. So we've got nice leaves on the trees now. So we'll have a bit of green, spring green. This will be a bit darker than that. A bit stronger, shall I say. So just a hint of the green. Let's put a little bit of Payne's grey in there, I think, just to darken up some. Okay, so we'll get some darker ones in there, this background, just bushy. Right, let's get some shrubby stuff in here. Sort of texture. Want some warm colour now. Remember that warm colours come forward. And the blues and greys they recede and give an impression of distance. I'm just adding some nice texture. Don't overdo it though. Just got a bit more in here. Then I'll put some rigger work in there, or even the hake. Right, let's get some greeny stuff here. So that's lesser than that one, it's less dominant, but we can still put a bit of warm in there. A bit of Payne's grey, a bit of burnt sienna. Right, just give that a dry. Come down a bit too far this, so I'll do something about that. Right, I'll use the hake for some. You will see more of the trees because they're not fully leafed. Oops. Just want some bushy stuff here to cover the bases of the base of the trunks. Just lose some of that. Okay, now we're going to put a bit of dry brush in here and do a bit of rigger work in the foreground. So just a bit of blue, bit of red, and the edge of the brush. Oh dear, that's. Oh, that'll do. I should have gone more blue than that. In fact, I will. I just put a bit of blue in there for those trees in the back. Bit of green in there. Right, we're in a hole, stop digging, so that's got a little bit wrong. Okay, so a bit of texture, a bit of Payne's grey and a bit of burnt sienna. a bit of shadow on some of this here. Okay, this doesn't get more simple, does it really? Just I can't really touch that yet. Oh, it's just a little bit too intense. But if I blot it, it'll go white, and I don't want that. Right. Okay. Now we can just lift out a bit of that, bit of this here. Okay, I'm going to let that go. Right, let's have a couple of right, okay, I'll sign it. I'll put it in a mount. It's not my best one, is it? No. Right, put the blue mount on that. Okay, so we've got a spring rain after some spring rain. Right, well there we are. I'll zoom in and just work around the picture. You can see what I've done on there. I've tried to disguise the base of these trunks, lost in foliage, in bracken and bushes and stuff, and I've added the blue in the background to represent distant landscape, and that's come out quite well. I think probably overdone the trunks on the other side. Now the water, I didn't mean to go quite as heavy as that, but I'm not going to take any more out. I try to reflect a bit of that, but it's not quite. Well, I should have got that colour in there better than the horrible grey from the palette that I did. A foreground, very, very simple. It looks like a lot, but you saw me do it using the dry brush technique and just hitting and missing. But anyway, it's one for you to try. I hope you enjoyed that. Let's just come back and whoops. And okay, so there we are, spring greens. Well, I'll think of a better title. See you soon. Bye bye.